Lionel Messi celebrated a quarter-final victory, and this morning, President Donald Trump ordered federal watchdogs to audit the match. Every internal VAR communication log, every automated tracking file, every electronic match metric from the fixture. The accusation driving the federal order is direct and devastating, that American consumers were sold tickets to a sporting competition and watched a scripted entertainment product instead. The White House has drawn a line. Zurich has hours to respond, and broadcasting boardrooms across the country are in full panic mode. Argentina's quarterfinal victory arrived in the manner that has defined their entire knockout campaign: late, dramatic, and accompanied by a sequence of officiating decisions that the analytical networks monitoring the match in real time flagged before the final whistle had even blown. The victory was real. The goals were genuine. But the conditions under which those goals became possible, the specific pattern of refereeing interventions that altered the physical and psychological balance of the match in its critical phase, are the subject of the federal investigation that President Trump authorized at 7 a.m. this morning. The immediate post-match analysis produced by rival technical coaching staffs and independent data networks identified 3 separate incidents in the second half of the quarterfinal fixture, where contact situations involving Argentine players, situations that comparable contact against opposing players had been penalized for in the same match, were waved away by the on-field referee without VAR consultation. Each of the 3 incidents occurred in defensive transition moments where Argentina were exposed and vulnerable. Each one, if adjudicated consistently with the officiating standard applied to their opponents, would have produced a free kick or a penalty in a position that independent analysts graded as high-probability scoring opportunities. The pattern is not new. It is the same directional asymmetry that has appeared in every Argentina knockout fixture in this tournament. What is new is that this time, the post-match data compilation reached a desk in Washington before the stadium lights had finished dimming, and the person at that desk decided that the cumulative evidence had crossed the threshold from a sporting controversy into a consumer fraud investigation. The federal order that President Trump issued this morning did not move through sporting governance channels. It did not produce a formal complaint to FIFA's disciplinary committee or a request for an independent refereeing review. It produced a legally binding federal audit mandate delivered through the Department of Justice directly to FIFA headquarters in Zurich that operates under the same domestic anti-fraud framework that produced 14 FIFA indictments in 2015. The mandate's parameters are specific and non-negotiable. FIFA is required to hand over the complete internal tracking logs from every VAR decision made during the Argentina quarter-final, including the communication audio files between the on-field referee and the remote technology center for each of the 3 flagged incidents, along with the full electronic match metric package that FIFA's automated analysis system generated in real time during the fixture. The deadline for compliance is 24 hours. Failure to comply triggers a complete freeze on domestic broadcast revenue distributions. FIFA's ability to collect the rights fees from U.S. broadcasting partners is suspended until the audit documentation is produced. The framing of the federal order is precise and deliberate. The Department of Justice is not investigating whether the refereeing was wrong. It is investigating whether American consumers, the ticket buyers, the broadcast subscribers, the hospitality investors who paid premium prices specifically against the marketing promise of a fair, neutral sporting competition, were sold a product that the tournament's internal documentation will reveal was not what it was marketed to be. That framing places the investigation squarely within U.S. consumer protection and anti-fraud statutes, where FIFA's institutional immunity carries no legal weight. The federal investigation is built on a data foundation that independent analytical networks have been assembling across the entire tournament, and the picture that data constructs is one that the automated VAR logs, if released, will either confirm or definitively refute. Across every Argentina knockout fixture in World Cup 2026, the officiating metrics show a consistent, statistically significant disparity between the disciplinary treatment applied to Argentine players and the treatment applied to their opponents in comparable contact situations. Fouls that were called against opposing defenders when contact was minimal were not called against Argentine defenders when contact was greater. VAR reviews that were initiated immediately when contact involved Argentine attacking players were not initiated when contact involved their opponents in identical positional contexts. The pattern is not random. Random patterns do not maintain consistent directionality across multiple matches, multiple referees, and multiple officiating crews. The financial logic that explains the pattern is straightforward. Lionel Messi in a World Cup semifinal generates a global broadcast product worth hundreds of millions of dollars in primetime advertising revenue that disappears the moment he is eliminated. An officiating environment, whether deliberately engineered or simply shaped by the cultural awareness of commercial gravity that former elite referees have described under conditions of anonymity, that consistently resolves marginal calls in the direction that keeps Messi active and advancing, serves that financial interest without requiring any explicit instruction. The DOJ audit is designed to determine whether the VAR logs show evidence of that engineering, or whether the pattern is the product of coincidence that 3 matches of consistent directionality cannot explain. The broadcast revenue freeze that the federal audit mandate has activated as its compliance mechanism is not a symbolic sanction. It is a surgical strike against the most immediately vulnerable component of FIFA's commercial architecture, worse, and the speed at which it has produced a response from broadcasting boardrooms confirms exactly how precisely it was calibrated. U.S. broadcast rights for the 2026 World Cup semifinal and final represent the tournament's most valuable commercial assets. Advertising tied to Argentina and Lionel Messi carries premium rates, making these matches central to broadcasters' financial projections. A federal audit that delays payments to FIFA creates more than an administrative problem. It places significant pressure on tournament cash flow during its most profitable stage. Broadcast partners are reviewing force majeure clauses to determine whether government intervention allows them to postpone contractual payments without penalty. At the same time, they are seeking clarification from FIFA regarding the audit's timeline and compliance process. So far, officials have maintained only that the matter remains under review, offering little reassurance as payment deadlines approach. The audit has also triggered a growing reputational challenge. Across social media, many supporters view the investigation as evidence that concerns about officiating deserve closer scrutiny. While the audit does not conclude that misconduct occurred, its existence has intensified public debate over the tournament's integrity. As a result, online boycott campaigns targeting the semifinal broadcasts are gaining momentum. Broadcasters that invested record sums in media rights now face uncertainty over audience numbers and advertising returns. Even without formal findings, the investigation alone has affected public confidence and commercial expectations. At the same time, Argentina's progression and Messi's performances remain separate from the questions under review. His technical quality, creativity, and influence on matches are not the focus of the federal audit. Instead, investigators are examining whether VAR procedures were applied consistently across key incidents. If the review confirms that the system operated according to established protocols, the controversy may subside. If it identifies evidence of inconsistent review processes, further scrutiny of tournament officiating is likely. Much now depends on whether FIFA releases the requested VAR records before the reported 24-hour deadline. The United States government has every legal right to investigate fraud committed on its soil against its consumers. FIFA chose to hold a World Cup in America. It sold tickets to American consumers under the promise of a fair competition. If the internal documentation reveals that promise was not kept, the institution that made it will answer to the law that governs every other commercial enterprise operating inside this country. The 2015 precedent is not a warning, it is a blueprint, and Washington has already demonstrated it knows how to use it. The executive revolt, a quarter-final victory, 3 flagged officiating incidents, a DOJ audit mandate with a 24-hour deadline, a broadcast revenue freeze, streaming boycotts organizing across every platform, and FIFA in Zurich for the 5th time in this tournament, choosing between its internal documentation and its commercial survival. The VAR logs will answer the question. The question is whether Zurich will hand them over in time. Is the federal government making the right move by auditing the tournament, or has political interference permanently and irreversibly destroyed the 2026 World Cup? Drop your verdict in the comments right now. Like the video, smash that subscribe button for real-time updates as the 24-hour federal deadline expires, and we will see you at the next file breakdown.